Let's talk about alignment real quick. Alignment is something that people will wake to. They'll start making decisions. They'll start doing things that are for their highest good, for their alignment, for the choices that they're trying to make, the things they're trying to achieve and accomplish and shift in their life. Timeline alignment. My guides are popping in my head. Timeline alignment. If you want to align to a certain timeline, you have to make certain choices to align to that timeline. People are always talking about like the timeline of the highest good. There is no like highest timeline. That doesn't exist. Take that, put it out of your mind. Your highest timeline is your timeline of choice. That's it. The timeline where you are fully authentic, fully embraced, fully in your sovereignty, and fully capable of choice. When you are in that space of choice, you are on your highest timeline. You are able to choose every moment, every experience, and attract what you want to you, and choose what's in alignment to stay in that space. So for example, I was working towards bringing on interviews, podcasts, in different ways to branch out. Back in last July, August, I started manifesting and telling my guides I want to do more speaking. That's the timeline I've always seen. As a time traveler, as an experiencer, I've seen myself speaking and doing collective work, helping people collectively, not just individually. And so I was like, start bringing aligned people to me who understand my work, who are capable of receiving the energy, who are awake, and these different things. So I was like, okay. And did my thing and asked them and kept asking them. And that's the key. They're saying, don't forget, asking you shall receive. You cannot create something new if you don't start asking for help from your guides and the situations to come and appear to give you choice, type of thing. That's the thing. You have choice. You have choice about your alignment. So when I was doing this, I started to get things coming through. I released a lot on a trip in Arizona at the end of August, I think beginning of September. And during that trip, I started getting requests for interviews. And I had gotten them before, and I'd look at them and I'd be like, this isn't for me. You could tell it's there's a bunch of these shows that they're interested in UFOs, they're interested in this, but they're skeptical, they're not energetically aligned, they're not spiritual, they don't understand energetics, they are doing the shows from an ego standpoint to feel seen and all this, not from a service or heart space. And I have this rule, like, no skeptics, no people who are unaligned and do not understand what I do, because if you don't understand or have the capacity to hold the space to understand what I do, then it's just going to be too far out of your reality for you, especially when we talk about things that I've experienced, like time dilation or time bleeds or galactics, physical, astral, mermaids coming off the water, ocean beings and sea monsters, all this stuff. It's too far outside of a lot of people's reality to be able to handle experiences. So I need aligned interviews, aligned people to come along, right? And so I put that out there and I say, bring me what I need. And Spirit starts bringing me interviews. They're not aligned. That's the test. You have choice. You have to look and say and feel into something and go, okay, this is the choice I want to make. This is the timeline I want to make. Is this aligned to that space? They want me to show the sun for a little bit and I can feel the energy as it's coming up. This is the choice I want to make. Is it aligned to that space? So I'm in Flagstaff area. And I think I got a couple interviews. There's one I specifically remember that came through, and they reached out. They were kind of aggressive. They said, hey, somebody recommended I should reach out to you. And they were a bit demanding about the way they were interacting with me. And I'm like, I don't like that energy. I don't like the energy when you're not operating from a heart space and you're telling me I need to be on the show and that I need to choose a date and you do this, do that, not asking like, hey, would you like to be on my show? Would you find my show interesting? That type of thing. Heart space, requesting permission type of thing. That's another thing, like people, a lot of times people don't ask permission because their ego, they want to just spill whatever they're saying or whatever they want to do and not actually request permission of other people. So I'm out there, I look at this show, I guess you could call it. They have a huge number of subscribers, huge, like I don't remember, I want to say like almost 100,000 people or something. I go, oh, that would reach a lot of people for me. That would bring in a lot of awareness, that sort of thing. But then I read the message, I felt the energy of this person, and I was like, this isn't aligned for me. This isn't aligned at all. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk to somebody. I'm going to walk away and feel like defensive or aggressive. My guys can get aggressive about stuff, about like listen to us type of thing, or any of that type of energy about trying to help people get into their heart space and that. And so I passed on it. Probably 100,000 followers, if not more. And I was like, no, I'm good. And this show shows up. So it was that show. It was at the same time. It was that show and it was this other show. This woman reaches out. Her name's Jessie, and her partner on the show is Katie. You've probably seen me talk about them. They have parenting intuitive kids. They had 10 followers at the time, maybe a little more on Instagram. They had just opened their Instagram. They go, hey, we would really like you on the show. We like what you do and all that. And I go, okay. And I felt into it. I went, I like this one. I'm going to do that one. I chose the show that was brand new, almost few followers. I did that with a radio show recently. They're like, we don't have a lot of followers. And I'm like, I don't care. It's aligned. I can feel that. And I was like, I'll take that one. And I got 2 great friends out of it. It was an amazing show that we did, and I'm super happy I did that over the one that I felt was unaligned. Here's what happened though. I was given a choice. Do this show or do this small show. And I went, I'll do the small show. I'm not going to do the other one. It was like the next day is when Ruben reached out. So many of you know Ruben from Interview with Extradimensionals. He reached out. I didn't know who he was. I don't know who most people are in the spiritual community, famous authors, famous, the people that have the clout type of thing. I don't know who they are. So he reached out and he goes, hey, I was guided to do a show with you. Will you do a pre-interview? And I was like, yeah, I'll get on the pre-interview. And I talked to him and I could feel him initially. And I was like, I have no idea who this is. They just type of thing. And I get on and he tells me about being on Guide TV, being on all this stuff that he's done, all this awesome stuff he's done. Very heart-centered individual. I did that show and it led to magical things. It led to more clients. It led to friendships. It led to me doing this event in Shasta in June. It led to others finding me who are interested in me being on their shows and that sort of thing because of alignment. That's the point, alignment. I chose alignment. I chose a small, little, tiny, unknown group of people to work with that were aligned to what I do versus somebody who was out of alignment but could have brought in all kinds of people. Who knows if they would have been difficult to work with, but I chose my alignment. So because I chose my alignment, I waited a little bit and bigger stuff came, better stuff came. That's the point about alignment and your choices. You make the choices, even though they're small, the bigger stuff comes really quick, really immediately. Feel free to ask questions. Love you all.